Shut up. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Fuck you! Shut the fuck up!
Hello and welcome to the Talkcast Podshow, your Hero Academia. I'm joined here by Kaiser and Grant, and just last night we went out and saw the new My Hero movie.
Heroes Rising.
Yeah, My Hero Heroes Rising.
Yep. Which is literally the lamest possible name, but...
I mean, it worked for Batman, The Dark Knight, gonna stop him from rising.
He rises.
Oh, that's true.
He was in the act of rise, or no, they're in the act of
He
rise.
rose throughout the movie.
Yeah. Like, I have no idea where to actually start talking about this
That's
film,
fine.
if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
So, let me start by saying that it has it was good. This is the first time, I think the only time I've ever seen the My Hero dub specifically, and we did go to see the dub.
Did we not see the first movie together?
No, we saw the first movie, but I'm saying the first time I saw the movie, or I saw the show dubbed was in that movie,
okay.
and this is the second time.
Gotcha.
Funimation has a very fine cast. It is a very solid dub. It's just weird for me, because I'm used to them sounding like this. Now they sound like this. For the first chunk of the movie, I felt like in that car scene, the audio was a little weird, and I was having a hard time understanding. I'm like, where are the subtitles?
I did feel like there was some, and I don't know if it was like the theater, the audio, something like that, but just it felt like all the sounds and music were like a 10, and then the vocal track was like an 8. And it was like, all right, I know that things are loud and this is an action sequence, so stuff would be happening, and you do have a bunch of sounds, but
it doesn't help that one of the guys has a Templar Knight mask on.
Yeah, somebody put a fucking flanger on him or a reverb, and it's like, oh, that's not helping with this dramatic car chase at all.
No, but I mean, as far as shonen anime movies go, it has a good premise, a good setup, and a good cast of antagonists.
It has a good premise.
I thought so. I like the idea of them doing hero work on an island.
Okay,
I like that. I like
part,
the setup premise.
Yeah, you know what?
Unattended miners 2. This time we're trapped on an island.
It works better to me than going to a hero convention.
Oh my god, yeah, and then half the class shows up coincidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, if you want to get all the kids into one place, it's definitely not a bad idea. Have them all going on a field trip together, and this is just them setting up a hero agency on a place where, okay, you can't get into trouble here. There's just not enough crime.
It's a peaceful little island that used to be monitored by an elderly superhero. He just kind of helped people with their menial tasks day to day.
I kind of wonder who that was. I kind of wish we had seen.
Doesn't matter.
It's Gran Torino. It's Gran Torino then.
Gran Torino lived in the big city. He was doing big time shit.
You know how fast he is. They might have thought he lived at the island at the same time.
Just one quick jump across, one 6-hour drone ride away.
Look,
Places at once.
I'm a modern anime and manga fan. If a major character that I know isn't directly connected with the events going on, I just don't care.
How should I?
So you didn't like MacGuffin Boy?
Actually, okay, so, by the way, I was being heavily sarcastic there, by the way, just to make sure, in case somebody soundbites that. Actually, to be completely honest, I loved the kids, which is weird. Without going to spoiler territory, we'll try to save spoilers for after a certain mark.
Okay, it's a shonen anime movie. There are 3 plots out there.
Yeah, I know.
And this one includes 2 of them.
Yeah. There were a couple of kids, and they're basically
They're the plot device. You're protecting them.
Yeah, they're the main characters, to be completely honest.
I wouldn't say they're the main.
Outside of the actual established cast.
They are a MacGuffin. That is what they are. They are there as a plot device.
They are the 2 characters that are introduced for this movie quite specifically to be the focal point characters outside of our established cast. And it's Maho, and I couldn't remember the other kid's name.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care enough to remember.
And the other reason I remember Maho is that her name literally is it alludes to illusions, which is her power.
Throw a shot in the dark. I feel like the boy's name ended in a she sound or she.
Maybe. My brain literally only saw them as boy and girl.
Yeah.
That is
blue
what
and
happens.
pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both had those gardening hats on.
Yeah.
That you see a lot of female Pokemon trainers wearing in the games.
it's going to be kind of hard not to talk about the movie without going into certain spoilers.
We'll go into spoilers
yeah.
later, but as far as like the premise goes, they're on the island and they have to defend those kids when, lo and behold, bad guy team shows up. It's shown in anime.
Yeah, no, everyone knows. Everyone's waiting for the villains to show up.
Yeah, the hero ends up fighting in the end, and I mean, where it goes, there are some interesting aspects to this, but it also leads to the biggest problem with all shonen anime movies that happen to take place,
I feel like complaining.
They try to be a part of the canon, but they're not.
I feel like complaining about this is so old hat. It is so tired, but it is inescapable.
It's inescapable. It is a problem because no matter what happens by the end of this movie, the status quo has to be upheld.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be alive. Everybody has to be where they were in the beginning.
Which is not to say that you can't get a little bit emotionally invested throughout the film.
No, there were parts in this movie where I'm like, ooh, I felt a little chill there.
Yeah.
Especially near the end.
But yeah, I don't think it's spoilers to tell you that if you removed this story whole hog, you're not going to lose literally anything from the actual story, and that's terrible.
It's the biggest problem with anime movies in general. Like every time you have a Dragon Ball movie, like even the Dragon Ball movies, where you have a literal set of objects that can bring things back to life, you could kill people in those Dragon Ball movies, but they never do.
Nope.
Well, because you don't want to get stuck with the loophole of like, oh, we've accidentally revived him once, and these Dragon Balls can't revive him again.
But we got these special Dragon Balls that could do it the one time, though.
Yeah, at least with the like the Z movies, like Battle of Gods and Resurrection F,
those were plot related.
Yeah.
Those actually continued the canon, which is the way I think. Because I like what Demon Slayer's doing. They're turning an entire arc of the show into a movie.
That is not a terrible idea if you can make it work, but your biggest problem is always going to be, okay, so let's take the Yakuza arc of My Hero Academia. I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen that, you really probably shouldn't be watching this, to be honest. But the Yakuza arc, that was about, what was it, 11 episodes?
Something like that.
Yeah, is it 12?
Fairly well paced.
Yeah. Anything faster would have ruined that story, and you would have lost key parts of it. I don't know how you could have adapted that into even a 2-hour movie.
What I think you do is you start that up, like you start that arc up. You get towards
and then the last 4 or 5 episodes are a movie.
The last 4 or 5 episodes are a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
could you imagine if they had been able to put the budget or timed it out and been able to do the whole fight with Mirio? And overhaul.
But you know why that is so complicated?
I imagine it's immensely complicated with scheduling and all that.
Part of it does come down to. So I'm going to surprise you a little bit. Did you know that filler tends to get higher ratings than canon material sometimes for anime?
That surprises me a little, but I can understand why.
Because people, by and large, I've probably already read a lot of the manga.
Yeah, they haven't seen what this filler arc's all about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I get to see my favorite characters doing something different.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
Look at Naruto and Rock Lee eating that curry. That's kind of neat.
In terms of making money, making a new movie with a new plot sells way better. And one of the other things that they realized, and this is why a lot of the big shonen movies lately have had, the author's name on it, is that if you put the author's name there, not only are the people who are like, I'm just in here for a new story that's throwaway,
but it's also credible and, it has the author's seal of approval. Like, this actually fits in my world. Naruto,
the last movie, the Boruto movie that came out, all the latest One Piece films have had Oda's fingerprints on them, which, by the way, the last couple of One Piece films, the best One Piece films. Fucking Strong World, Z,
what was the one we just watched?
that was
Stampede? I thought that was okay.
Stampede was okay. Some people disagreed with that, and that's fine. I think the 3 before it were
I think this movie,
better.
Granted, I'm probably more attached to the source material here, but I think this movie was better than Stampede. In terms of pacing, in terms of action beats, and in terms of character moments.
Yeah, and part of that has to do with, okay, so as I said about DNA, the fingerprints of the mangaka, I don't know how actually involved Horikoshi was. I do know he was involved with the movie. He talked about how the ending of this movie was something that he wanted to do desperately, but didn't think that he could in his own manga.
I could see why.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So he wrote this as, this is one of the biggest, you'll never ever see this in my manga. And he kind of wrote this as kind of an ending. Like, hey, this could have been an ending for the fucking manga. Which, yeah I can see why he says that.
I think, Grant, you and I were actually talking about something similar, or I think like all of us were talking about something similar outside of
as we walked out.
Yeah, that all of these movies are for, hey, you're never going to get this moment in the show or the manga, so let's give it to you in something that isn't that.
But
sorry. Yeah, like in the first movie, the hero convention, you get All Might and Midoriya fighting side by side
each other. Yeah,
you're not going to get that now.
Yeah, and you were never going to get that. But the other thing about Horikoshi is that I felt like this movie, way more than the last one, if I'm being real honest with you, felt like it had his touch. There were so many more scenes in this particular movie that felt like he had written it, more creative, more interesting. Like,
I felt like the characters were more true to themselves.
Yeah,
the
character writing was much more on point. The use of the quirks was way more interesting in this movie. Like,
everybody got a moment. Everybody got a moment to shine.
Zero gets a moment.
Oh, except for like Sugar Rush, dude. He
gets to
like
get
a little bit.
Like he gets.
What does he do? He rows a boat and then holds a rock.
He gets to row a boat real far.
He attacks. He attacks
the Chimera guy for
Furry Bait McGee.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I want to just double back on with the shonen movie problems. I think the thing that I at least doesn't sound like you guys are considering as much is people have to be, in order for that to work, for the arc to be a movie, people would need to be up to date on the show, like at the time of the movie coming out. They also have to be not a child who gets to decide that they're going to see a movie.
Yep.
And like, because if you make a key part of your story something that you have to pay extra and go off away from where you are normally watching this material to absorb, I can see why companies would not want to do that.
That's actually a very fair point.
Like, because as someone who does have the money and free will to be like, I'll go see a movie with that property I like so much, I'm way into the idea of like, let's make the canon stuff these things that we're going to put a bunch of budget into. But if I was a child who did not have a car or my own money, I would be a lot more like, Mommy, Daddy, can I go see this cool cartoon movie that you will not want to see at all? And you can spend an evening with your child in a movie that you will not like.
That's very true. I'm thinking about it from the perspective of a grown-up man-child who still enjoys watching 12-year-old
as someone who dragged
Japanese animation for 12-year-olds.
As someone who dragged his parents to the first Pokemon movie, which is now, like, I guess on Netflix, but a CG version of it that I'll probably watch this weekend.
With the Japanese audio, my friend.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Ooh. That was a tough sell then, and that wasn't even canon. So.
You bring up the Pokemon movie. I have a fun little anecdote about that from when I went to see it as a kid. So I'm sitting there with my mom and my brother, and like I think we brought one of my friends with us to see it. And there's like a guy on the other side of my mom, and we're at Mewtwo's like opening monologues, like, "Who am I? Why am I here?" And the guy just leans forward and just says, "Why am I here?"
That's good.
Because you love your kid.
That's bullshit.
Do I really? Like, he's probably just like a divorcee dad who has like his kid for the weekend, and that's what they wanted to do.
I gotta get him excited.
And he's just sitting there in his existential crisis, questioning everything that led up to this moment.
So My Hero Academia Heroes Rising is So before we go too much into the details, because once we go into the details, we're probably going to start spoiling things up.
Absolutely.
Right. It is a fine action shonen filler movie.
I think it's on like definitely north of adequate. I'd say it's like between good and great when it comes to like these shonen anime movies.
Yeah, I'd say good. For me, it's good.
It's worth a watch. If you enjoy, like if you're up to date on the anime and you enjoy it, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch through.
But I'll say this, and Stefan, who couldn't be with us right now because he had to work the switcher, and
he's making sure these cameras are on the right angles.
How do I put this?
Delicately, very delicately.
I never want another My Hero movie. I hope we never get another My Hero movie ever.
That's never happening.
I know, but I don't want another one. Do you know why?
I'm curious why.
Because the Yakuza arc suffered died so this movie could live. Okay, it didn't die. It's still good.
Okay,
but
the Mirio fight.
Actually, no,
specifically, I
the
think.
entirety of that arc suffers. Like, if you look at the art direction, the storyboarding, the compositing, the pacing, everything.
As a plain, just general audience viewer, the only time I ever noticed it was when they started doing the still frames during the Mirio fight.
I noticed it all the way throughout because I was like, as somebody who's read all of the manga, and there you go. There's putting another notch on the Scott's read the manga chart. As someone who's read all of it and watched all of it, no arc suffered in its adaptation more than the Yakuza arc, and I can tell you that.
Which is weird because I think it's been like my favorite so far.
And hey, you know what? That talks to the value of its story and its
fair.
characters involved. And for me, I still obviously enjoyed it. I mean, if anybody who's been watching our week-to-week reviews, you know that I still like it, but it still suffered a lot because this movie took its director, took a bunch of its animators, and cut a deep, lengthy swath into the production for the series. And you can tell because this movie is gorgeous.
Especially near the end.
Yeah.
Especially near the end.
Near the end, they really.
That's something you mentioned specifically.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and say, just to throw out my quick review before we get into any sort of spoilery things. I don't think you have to rush to theaters to see this movie. I think it is fun. It is a fine adventure shonen-y story, but like it is not one of those things where it's like, put all of your plans aside, get to a theater right now and catch this. It's worth seeing, maybe at a later date.
I'd say if you're a big My Hero fan, like if you're a real big My Hero fan, absolutely catch this in theaters because I think it's the best way to actually enjoy this film. It's
Unless
huge.
you sit next to the people I sat next to.
We'll get into them in a moment. But yeah.
Why are they spoilers?
I mean,
Not really.
I mean, a little.
Just to finish off my point, if you're a big My Hero fan, see this in theaters. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, fantastic soundtrack, a lot of great action scenes. It's fantastic on the big screen.
Great character moments. I think like the part of the premise that helped that the most is that at the beginning you get those slice of life moments where they're all just being themselves and doing a lot of fun things. I think that's what really helped settle you into the movie the most. Is just that they're all like you get various character moments that help you like reintegrate if you hadn't been watching for a little bit.
Also, Kaminari doesn't get fucked over in this film. He actually gets a couple of like really good moments, even if he is even if they are sort of played for laughs. There's still great moments.
Yeah.
If anybody saw my review of the last one, I was kind of upset about how they treated Kaminari.
Is he one of your best boys?
Actually, Kaminari is high up there for me, especially considering that he's kind of like the third of the Bakugo trio, and then in that movie he just kind of gets treated like a joke, and it's like, Kaminari's got a great power. He
is the Yamcha of that crew.
Just a little
Kinda.
bit.
I mean, is he the Yamcha or is Ida the Yamcha?
Oh no, it's absolutely Kaminari.
Yeah.
No, Ida's the Tenshinhan.
Oh, that's almost worse.
Because
are
we in Z or are we in Super?
Still, because you have all that potential, and then you're never gonna, you've had your arc.
We'll see how Horikoshi treats Mr.
I will say that this movie led me to the conclusion that I think Midoriya and Bakugo are just better Vegeta and Goku. I think that their dynamic is more fleshed out and their relationship is more understandable, but they have that same rivalry dynamic, but it's not that I'm going to fucking murder you. I know I'm going to be better than you.
I have to admit, when I talked about Horikoshi's writing being, his fingerprints being felt in this film, those scenes in particular were exceptionally well done here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From the framing, the dialogue, the settings, everything felt so impactful. You could feel that tension, that rivalry between them in every scene.
That weird aggressive sort of bromance they had going on throughout.
And I loved it. I love their dynamic. I love their rivalry. They started off so unbelievably toxic, and then as they've both grown up and learned how to communicate with each other, things have gotten better. And that's so great.
Yeah.
Because
it makes me look forward to like the show progressing with them.
Yeah.
Because like that movie is like, it sold me on the next I don't know how many seasons of this show, because I'm just like that
Like, I want to see this relationship keep going.
and I think that's probably the highest review I can give to this movie, is that it has like solidified me as really wanting to see more My Hero.
Yeah. So I guess that's our non-spoiler part of the review. General consensus is, if you're
It's
a My
good.
Hero fan, you'll enjoy it.
Before we go into spoilers, I just want to go on my brief tangent.
Uh-oh.
Because
Oh,
I was
no,
sitting
yeah,
next to these people this whole time, and
don't
like,
want
you know,
people
there's
shying away
a
from
difference between the casual fan and the anime fan.
Oh no.
Okay, like I'm talking about the people that will walk around like conventions carrying the yaoi paddles, yelling the game in the hallways in the mid 2000s.
no.
That is who I was sitting next
The
to.
completely socially unaware.
And they were just gabbing and talking to each other the entire time. I'm just like, mother. I tried to shush them. I even looked over. I'm like, please be quiet, please. Did not stop. I wanted to hit them. I wanted to, but I don't
Not in
do
this
assault.
society.
Lanipator don't do assault.
That's
I'm very mad, so I'm going to berate them anonymously on the internet.
I don't know, you sound like a salty bitch right
I
now.
am very salty! They were the only thing that held this movie back from being more enjoyable for me.
I'm so sorry. I'm just happy that I was over there damn near the end seat and I didn't have to deal with them.
But you still heard them, right?
I did! During one of the most important scenes, they wouldn't, I could just hear them like...
And here's the thing. I don't mind it when they're reacting, because they were like into the movie.
Yeah.
I want them to enjoy it when they're going, oh,
Oh yeah, no, that shit's
that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. But when they're going like, oh, did you see that part? Yeah, I don't know, man. Fuck you! Shut the fuck up, bitch!
Yeah, no. Audiences are the worst parts of movies. It's gonna be
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay now.
They're not here now.
They can't hurt you anymore.
They can't hurt me anymore. It's fine.
But
Moving
yeah.
on to spoilers.
Whew. No.
Okay, spoiler territory from here on out.
By the way, you know what? You basically just you gave the anthropomorphic
Yeah.
representation of everyone's frustration with those people. So, okay.
Speaking of anthropomorphic, let's talk about the crocodile.
Can we talk about the
We
crocodile?
can definitely talk about the
Can we
crocodile.
spend the rest of
Breathe
this time-
fire?
He was my
Breathe
favorite
fire.
villain. He was so cool.
No, he was
Dude.
great. I wish he was the leader. Like,
Oh, okay, so
he felt like such a mastermind character.
He pulls out a goddamn cigar, whoom, lights it with his breath.
his fucking voice too was like Gruff the crime dog gone evil.
Like it's there. So I get that we need our power sapping supervillain like mega mad.
this entire thing, like they tied it really hard into the League of Villains, like introducing a character that I'm guessing was introduced in the manga already.
Yeah, okay, so we cannot talk too much about this without spoiling a little
That's
bit
why
of
this
what
is the spoilers. This
Yeah.
is the spoilers chat. Like,
Yeah.
'cause again, I'm not up to date on the manga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is spoiling stuff that's like beyond the anime, and I felt a
Oh,
little.
well, yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I'm up to date on the anime, so I got the idea behind his little air shot thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, they introduced that concept.
Which, by the way, I want to
apparently
point
timed
out.
out better here than it did in Japan.
Yeah, this movie came out like December 20th in Japan, way before the anime got to him using the air flick, and before the update in his outfit to customate for that.
yeah, that he still doesn't have that.
Yeah, he doesn't
so.
have that in the anime yet. as
Yeah,
far as I know.
so there are things in this movie. This is after one of the latest arcs in the manga, so it's a little bit like, yeah, there's some things happening that
It feels like it fits in just fine. Like I don't think it spoils too much for
Yeah.
anime. Like it's just like, oh, he has a new thing on his costume, and
I'd say actually the biggest spoiler out of all of them
that he's
is
consistently using 20% at like his base.
that and the person you were talking about, the person that they
Oh,
introduced.
the doctor?
The doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just call him Doctor. And
So this guy is basically genetically modified a ninja, I guess, to
Yeah.
be able to have some of All for One's ability.
so his original ability seems to have been controlling weather.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I
They leave him ambiguous enough he could have stolen all of those.
Pretty much all of these villains have semi-ambiguous quirks, like especially Crocodog. Like, what is he? Just like some weird chimera that.
I think he's
also
just a
has
chimera.
breathe
Yeah,
lasers?
actually, I'm pretty sure because he mentions like, like, who was he talking to about his parents? Oh, it was the mouth dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he grabs him and he's like, "You ever curse your parents for turning into a freak?" And it's like, oh, I see. Basically, what happened with this
He's a
guy is
monster.
he probably had a dog man who fucked a chicken man, or fucked a chicken woman who fucked a dragon dude, and then
all
fucking-
of that sexual juice just mixed.
Man,
and created-
Dragon had to be closer to the up there because he was breathing fire and lasers.
Maybe
and-
he's the son of that dragon hero girl.
Huh? But yeah,
cousin.
yeah, like
the quirks of the enemies don't matter too much, except for like the main dude who was genetically modified to get All for One's ability to absorb other people's quirks, but he could only have a certain number of them.
so.
And he also has some weird disease which is killing him from the inside.
Cell
So
degeneration.
So he needs MacGuffin Boy's quirk in order to heal himself consistently.
I could not have possibly cared less about this villain, by the way. I have to put it out there. I wanted to like him, but he is nothing but a mix of other better villains from My Hero Academia done way worse.
Isn't that just the case with almost every shonen villain in a movie, though? I
liked Film Z. Film Z and Strong World. Yeah, they had a
But
great
he was just
villains.
Frieza again, though, right?
Yes,
So-
but he was cooler.
Yeah, like I've seen decent movie villains before that show up, do their thing, and then get the fuck out. I've seen them. This is not one of them. Like he's just there to look and sound cool, and curse humanity for. His whole thing.
He's a Sith. He wants the powerful to rule the weak. That's his deal.
Which, by the way,
Surprise!
I do have to say I had a bit of a chuckle at the name of the island.
Oh, what was the name of the island? I was not paying attention.
Oh, Mr. Star Wars fan, it was Naboo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of the proper nouns floated over my head.
I mean, it's Naboo.
I know, like, come on, man, Camino Ward. Mirio's attack is called Phantom Menace. I don't care what they translate it to.
Yeah.
He yells it.
It's a great. I don't know. The villain here is my least favorite part. Although, yeah, I have to agree with you. His entourage.
Yeah.
Way cooler than him.
Yes.
Way more
that's
interesting.
Why I still think Chimera guy would have been a great boss, just criminal mastermind who's yeah, I found this kid. He was willing to subject himself to get these power enhancements and stealing things, but his mind is degenerated, so he just does what I say. And we're coming in here and we're gonna do some shit. I feel like that would have been a more interesting dynamic, because then you could have had him going power mad or whatever in the end.
But seriously, his entire thing. Okay. Does this sound?
He's just worse all for one. That's what his purpose was to be it's Midoriya fighting an all for one type character.
There's a villain coming up in the manga who.
No, I just had to bring up real quick. I don't usually do this, but
Hi,
you have
Steph.
to talk about it. Why was he named 9?
Because he could have 9 powers.
That happened after he met his group.
I think.
Why did they call him 9?
I think that was. You know what? Maybe because his name was 9.
Wait, is his name just 9?
That's what they fucking called
all
him.
they
No,
Nine or nine?
yeah, I know. But was his name 9 before?
I think so.
When he
They-
walks
they-
up to the guy
they-
seeing him for the first time after the experiment, they call him 9.
No. Hold on. I just thought 9 was his fucking villain name.
Villain name?
Hold on. I have to double check this bullshit, because if that's the case.
I mean, maybe he was always able to hold 9 quirks, and that's why he was able to get all.
I mean, isn't Bakugo a pun on explosions or something?
I mean,
they
look-
named their kid that before he had his quirk.
I mean, you're right.
his
His name
name-
is Explosion Boy, basically.
His name might be the least important part of this.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's just 9 in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
So
his name is 9.
okay, well maybe his
Like I
name
said,
is just,
proper nouns don't
He's
matter.
German? No.
I mean, then again, the other girl's named Slice.
And her hair is metal.
Her hair is metal.
Which I thought was cool. That's
Yeah.
a fun
She just
power.
sort of kind of disappears near the end.
Yeah, they kind of do just
Forgot about
do
her.
away with her at some
Rocks
point.
fall, everyone.
You see them, carted away by the police.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, Brendan Blaber, aka Jello Apocalypse, aka, so this is basically guy,
Okay.
played Mummy.
Did he?
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, I recognized his voice too, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
I know that.
Yeah.
Well, he's the one that gets jobbed out the quickest.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's eliminated and tied up and never seen
But
again.
hey, he's loyal and he never
He never
gives
said a word
gives
about
any
his
info.
companions. But like in traditional shonen fare, the bad guys show up, they get round 1, but they lose in round 1 except for Mummy, who just gets destroyed.
Yeah. Well, he's beating the shit out of them.
He is until Bakugo gets serious.
Yeah.
And he's like, boom!
Which, by the way, oh my god, so Vegeta shows up
Yeah,
and
no,
he's
but-
like, nah, fuck this shit, you suck.
Yeah,
I mean, he gets
Bakugo
damaged in the meantime, but
Yeah, Bakugo gets way better Vegeta moments than Vegeta does, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a really good fight because Bakugo actually loses at first, but then he's like
gets tied up. It's like, man, fuck this.
yeah, no, and it's great too because it was great to see Bakugo losing the fight and then coming out on top by sacrificing his gauntlet.
And then he fucking final flashes the motherfucker through a brick
Yeah,
wall.
I thought that was going to be
like,
actual kill.
yeah, because he yells out, die! I'm like, oh fuck, he's dead. He is fucking dead. Because he obliterates a parking lot.
The animation even shows him like
You get a skeleton for a second. Like, whoosh.
yeah.
I was like, fuck. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If Bakugo is that Punisher style hero, I don't care.
No, yeah,
like that makes sense.
seems in line.
With his power, yeah, something's gonna die.
And I don't know how if they've ever really gotten into the laws of this world of like heroes killing supervillains.
is there-
I assume that's still frowned upon.
You can't do it.
Is there a Batman rule there? Because
Yeah.
I got to imagine it's very hard for Endeavor not to
I was
incinerate
gonna
a
say,
lot
I
of
think
people.
Fat Gum might have said something about it.
Fat Gum says we're not allowed to kill. What we have to do is beat them until they give up. Basically, it's a matter of resolve. It's bullshit too because
What if they never give up?
Yeah, if they never give up and your only option is you have to hit
Then we
them
call
hard
it
enough that you
Bakugo.
could, yeah, you could potentially kill them. Then that's what are you left with?
Are you allowed to like go so far as to say in Hunter x Hunter in the Hunter exam arc during Gon's fight with the ninja, he's like, look, I can't kill you, but I will cut off your arms and legs. I will break every limb you have until you give up.
I will
Are they
make you
allowed to go
unable
that
to do
far?
things.
Like, I'm just going to, make sure this person can't fight ever again.
Probably.
God, I don't know. I would assume then you brought it to the fucking board like, okay, we need to review what you just did. But anyway,
This guy was jaywalking, and I made it so he would never be able to again.
I made a decision.
He would not stop.
this was his third offense. You know what they say about
Three strikes, you're out of legs.
Damn right.
But yeah, Mummy gets taken care of. Like, he's the only one to just go down in that first fight.
Yeah, but that's because, they don't have anybody else to really deal with that. You have all your main combatants fighting against either Crocodog or you have Midoriya who's going one-on-one against 9 at that point. And I think Metal Hair Girl is just waiting in the wings to save 9.
She like sank a ship when she came in.
Yeah.
And then just sort of wasn't around until 9 started getting in trouble, and then all of a sudden she's there again.
Yeah.
Running with a spider limbs.
I don't think we really see her fight anyone else until later.
Until the climax, basically.
Yeah.
So basically, Crocodog takes on like 9 to 10 of the people from the school, essentially setting him up as Todoroki's main
Yes.
fight. Which, by the way, Todoroki in this, they set him down a number of pegs.
Yeah, Todoroki kind of felt nerfed, huh?
He used to be like the
Todoroki being like the class star.
Yeah.
Like, we've got Bakugo and Deku like as our 2 leads, but like he's kind of like
he's the prototype. He's
he
the
always feels like
prodigal.
valedictorian in the class in my mind.
That being said, since we're already in spoiler territory, he gets the win
He
in
does.
a great fucking way.
Yeah, in a
by
way
the
that I'm like, that guy's dead.
Yes, yeah, in another murder.
He essentially kills him, but I'm just like looking at that like, he does eventually get the win in his team fight against Crocodog.
Which, by the way, that fight, especially that last bit, is so good. Like, the storyboarding, I talk about storyboarding, the framing here, you could follow the action, and it's nuts. Oh my god, sorry, I just can't get over that scene, because out of all the action scenes in this that had some amazing moments, I felt like that was the one where I was most at the edge of my seat of holy shit, how like, he comes so close to losing until the very last second.
Yeah, no, everybody jumped in for the assist on that one, and then he's just literally absolute zeroed into an ice sculpture.
Yeah.
Really cool win. I loved the setting too, with the multiple waterfalls and everything, and luring him into the water. And,
Oh yeah, a bunch of great set pieces in this film too. Like in the cave with Slice and against Tokuyomi and
Mina.
Yeah. By the way, Mina, I love Ashido, and she actually gets some cool moments in this film. Also, giving off some hard bisexual energy, and I appreciate that from her.
It makes sense. With her character, I could understand where that would make sense a little bit.
Yeah.
Like she's everyone's friend, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think they upped her character design.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah. Actually,
she put on a few extra pounds in a certain.
every female character in this had that. Also,
Yozoru felt normal.
also, actually,
Her normal.
Yeah, her normal.
Actually, interestingly, I felt like all of the character designs in this felt a little bit older.
I mean, it makes sense from where it's supposed to be taking place in the manga, I suppose.
Yeah, a little
Puberty
bit.
has progressed a slight bit.
But both Bakugo and Midoriya look taller and broader and like
They're
thicker necks.
They're,
Feel like we got a very
second
rare
years
show
now,
like
man.
on Tokugame's
They're
arms.
yeah, they're on their way to the next to the next festival or whatever.
Nope, they're still first years here.
Really?
This is winter, man.
What? Okay, what month does fucking school start in Japan?
All I'm saying is, like, they're still in there. I'm pretty sure they're still first years.
They are still 1A. Like, they are referred to as 1A.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Either way, they're older. So
yeah. But yeah, no, like all the and again, the art and animation in this film, fucking great. Like it is better looking than the first film, I have to say.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
Without directly comparing it, I mean, I can't say for certain, but I could agree with
the
that.
backgrounds looked way better. Like that was.
I
one of the-
remember there being moments in the first movie, seeing it on a theater screen and being like, "Ooh, that didn't translate well."
Yeah.
I never had a moment like that. In this
No. Also, yeah, all the fight scenes look gorgeous. There's a lot of fighting in this.
There is. Like, after you get past the slice, as soon as the villains hit the island, it is just action nonstop, small break to let everybody understand why they're here and what the plot is.
Yeah, and then what they're supposed to
let
do.
everybody recover from the shit stomp that was round
Deku
one.
and Bakugo out of critical condition.
Yeah, because both of them end up fighting 9 at the beginning, and go figure, the guys...
The big bad is too
big
tough
bad's
for our
too
boys.
strong for them at the start, and then
Yeah.
they heal up again and go back at them later. And
They get that Zenkai boost.
Round 2 was like real cool. I loved the cave fight scene. Seeing fucking Bird Boy with the Wolverine claws is kind of cool.
Yeah, I absolutely am about the developments that they've made with Tokiomu's character. Like, he just... First of all, he can fly now.
Yeah.
Well, he can glide. He
Yeah.
can glide.
Don't know if we'd ever seen that before.
Okay, but how did he get that high in the first place?
Shut up.
Fly.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
You shut up.
So, and then he's
Dark
got the
Shadow
claws
just threw him.
and then Dark Shadow, which, by the way, I'm all for opportunities for characters. Like, I've got this forbidden thing. Let us see the forbidden thing. I want to see
Yeah.
the forbidden thing, and the forbidden thing happens, and it's awesome.
Yeah, but then once the forbidden thing happens, it's like rock falls and the scene's over and we're never going to address this again.
Yeah, but it is the thing that wins the fight.
It's true.
Also, like, and Slice is like, what the fuck is that?
What's happening?
Oh no!
And it's all because like Ashita got stabbed in the leg a couple of times by some needles and he's like,
Bitch! Yeah, which,
I care about my friends, and
Yeah.
the darkness consumes.
well, he's already kind of at a disadvantage because he's the only thing that keeps Dark Shadow under control is his own emotional state. So when that slips,
so he's like Raven if Raven was Naruto.
yeah, okay, yeah.
A little bit. You got that fox team in there, and
Sure.
also got to keep yourself in control a little
But
bit.
it's a great scene. But meanwhile, so every fight with nines felt like the same fight over and over.
Yeah, but at the very least, we get some differentiation. In round 2, they don't start off with like Midoriya and Bakugo, who are, I guess, sitting back and waiting for their chance to jump in because they know they're going to have
they're
to.
the anchors. They know
Yeah.
their job is to
Yeah,
take out
yep.
the team that's worn down.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're sitting back at the top in this castle, which is very conveniently off the coast of the island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice
With
and
a nice
deserted.
narrow sandbar for them to walk
Where they moved literally everybody to, that has like a nice little cave where everybody can hide in. It's very perfect
Go
set piece
ahead,
for this
put
one.
Sugar Guy and Animal Talking Guy in there.
I thought the castle was going to play more into the climax than it did, but instead it was mostly just they may as well be fighting on any island. But
Yeah.
Like the start of round 2 with nine, I actually really sort of enjoyed because it was Uraraka, Sero, and actually no, it starts off with Yayozaru firing cannons and glitter boy shooting
a big laser.
Which hell yeah, like watching them pull out their strongest attacks was really cool.
Yeah,
especially
give them a moment.
Especially for Aoyama. Aoyama like never gets really big moments. So here he's like, no man, here's my strongest
and
fucking
they kind of
glitter
just
blast.
introduced his thing where he's like, I've got laser shooters on different parts of my body now that I can just send the naval laser to.
He's belly button Cyclops is what I've always.
Which unfortunately, like this movie just spoils.
Well, I mean, it's not a huge spoiler thing, but like they kind of already,
any
they've
small
already pointed
upgrades I didn't consider a spoiler.
Well,
like,
but that's
going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. The biggest spoilers in this movie, I was actually worried about some other things because there's other stuff that's
because going in as someone who's only watched the anime, I was like kind of like prepared for like, all right, there might be some things that I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense, or I didn't know they could do that, and just kind of being ready for it. When they open with you're talking to UA's Class 1A's hero agency, I'm like, oh, is this the development that I don't know about?
That's what I was worried about too.
And I was like, because that's really cool. And if at some point like they get a student-run hero agency, that's rad.
Which makes sense in the canon.
Yeah.
Because originally...
But apparently that was made up for the movie, so that was not a spoiler at all.
A month ago when we were just talking about seeing this, I had heard rumors it's like, it's ahead of where the manga is even. I'm like, I don't know if I should see this, because I really like the anime, and I know the anime is behind the manga.
Yeah, I'm going to not spoil anything, but there was one particular thing that is a really big spoiler, and I was like, are they going to pull that out?
And apparently I missed it or something.
That was actually another thing that will be happen by the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah. He missed it, and I don't even want to bring up what it was. Yeah. It had to do with Endeavor, and if you noticed it, don't bring it up because I like.
Well, now that you say that, I can probably figure it out.
Now I was gonna think about it.
Now that you tell me what character it involves.
But yeah, there's a bunch that happens, and luckily it's just powers. Like the development of powers is the only thing really spoiled in this movie. That and the Doctor, but
yeah,
like the fact that guy is the Doctor from the first fucking chapter blew my mind.
I did not pick up on that. That's kind of neat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like go back and read the first chapter. That's that motherfucker that tells Deku that he...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy who tells Deku that he has no quirk.
What a fucking heel.
I'm gonna throw out we hadn't had a face reveal really, but I'm fairly certain somewhere in the anime we hear a phone conversation or something with the Doctor, and like it's the same voice as the Doctor from that episode, and I feel like I just like, wouldn't it be funny if it was the same guy?
Well,
then it was.
Yeah, actually,
no, that's fair enough. Like, yeah, it does spoil like a few things. I actually kind of liked the League of Villains like framing involvement in this.
Yeah,
it made it feel more in-world.
Yeah.
Like,
and being part of the intro, I think, helped ground these villains.
But going in order, after like that amazing like let's hold him off and make sure he uses as much of his powers as we can fight with like Urarakas and Sero, just like throwing rocks at him and just like raining meteors down on this dude who's just creating a shield bubble around him and firing lasers out of his fingernails, I guess is where they appear.
Finger lasers.
Eventually they get worn down and Bakugo and Deku step in, and that's where it really begins.
Yep. So yeah, everything up until that point it has some great action sequences, but this is where
Everybody
obviously
had a moment to shine, which is good.
Yeah, very good. Even if it got a little exhausting, I won't lie. By the time we even got to the real showdown with like Deku, Bakugo, and Nine, I was already like
still way less exhausting than Stampede. Way less exhausting than that.
Little bit.
Because at least all of this like had plots in like just a couple of different areas, and they like wrapped them up neatly so we could focus on the other things.
Stampede is just it is a fucking stampede. This movie
This movie I felt was actually significantly better paced.
How do I put this? So yeah, this fight is gorgeous.
It gets gorgeous. It starts off normal, but then once the dude starts using his weather powers with lightning and Kaminari, like that's where his big moment shines.
Yeah, so Kaminari ends up saving the day, and it's kind of great, even though it doesn't make sense.
In the first fight, the dude levels fucking Bakugo and Deku with lightning.
Yeah, and he fucks him up.
So in this one, they planned around that, and Kaminari turned himself into the lightning rod that absorbed the whole thing and overcharged himself. Leading Bakugo and Deku to be able to fight him while he's like basically at his limit.
Yeah.
But that's when I guess the limiters open up. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do
He had
everything."
these weird canisters on his shoulders the whole time, and then they dump into him. I'm guessing that's the serum that like boosts your quirks or whatever.
I guess.
Because he's like, I'm at my limit. No, never mind.
That's where the like fucking animation goes ape shit.
Yeah.
Like this entire
This is a
fight,
real
they're
climax.
just like zipping around. Midoriya uses 100% apparently, but it doesn't look as cool as when he did it in the anime. And then like the big how are they gonna undo this moment happens where they're at their limit and they're like being held up by these metal snakes.
Yeah, by the way, like the entire
can
time
summon
I'm
metal
like,
snakes.
wait, what the fuck? Is this like, they look almost identical to the Blue Eyes White
Yeah,
Dragon.
I was gonna say
And-
the Blue Eyes tails.
Yeah, and you know, he's holding up Bakugo and Deku like
Within arm's reach
with
of each other
arm's
for some
reach.
reason.
Yeah,
But that's
Look at
when
each other as you die.
that's when like the big moment happens, like that, like Midoriya's like, there's only one way that this can end, and he like looks at Bakugo's like, you motherfucker, and Bakugo has like this cut on his finger, like Midoriya's cut. He's like, I'm gonna give you my power, and Midoriya transfers all for one, or one for all,
Yeah, one for
to
all.
Bakugo, and apparently Bakugo can just like he just knows how to fucking use it just fine. A-okay. I mean, he's still
He's a well-trained warrior.
yeah,
He
and
gets it.
he gets like fucked up about as much as Deku does when he's trying to go 100% with it.
Yeah.
But his design, I fucking loved his like his hair apparently got shorter, but
he goes fucking Super Saiyan as well.
yeah, they both go Super Saiyan, and it looks really cool.
Yeah,
This-
I
and it's-
gotta admit, the moment Midoriya starts talking about like, I've got this crazy idea, and I'm like, what crazy idea? And then you see the close up on Bakugo's hand with the cut, and I'm like, oh shit, oh fuck.
And they do it, and the scene is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is the part that they were talking about, like, look, I would really like to put this in the manga or put this in the show, but would never be able to
Yep.
in order for the plot to progress. It looked so cool, and of course they end up going with that "Don't Worry About a Thing" song, which is like, oh, it's a big, powerful moment, and the fucking people next to me were like, fucking hell.
I want to point out that this movie was definitely in production alongside the show.
Oh, it absolutely was.
The show basically took what they did in the movie.
I think the show used the song better.
Actually, yeah, if I can be honest,
Significantly better.
the
I would
show
agree.
definitely used the song better.
But it still fit here, and this is the part where the animation just goes insane. Like there's colors and lights, and I felt like I was a child with ADD again instead of an adult with ADD.
This is definitely the part that makes me go like, no, if you see it in theaters, this is why. Like,
Yes.
this moment is the reason to see it in a
Yeah,
theater.
that was the part where you said this is what separated it from just being a filler arc to being worthy of being a movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And I got to admit, so as I've said before, when it comes to these filler movies, if you literally have no impact on the characters and the main story, there's almost no point to you. Or at least there's never going to be any real dramatic weight. In this moment, I legitimately got goosebumps. I was psyched to see this happen.
was the part where I was like, ooh.
Yeah, because obviously this is never going to happen in the show. This is
And
the
obviously it's going to get reversed somehow.
Yeah.
and it does. But it is one of the coolest moments in all of My Hero Academia. It is impossible to ignore just how monumental this scene is, what it means to Bakugo and Midoriya, how cool it actually ends up looking.
And their
Like-
double Detroit smash to fucking uppercut the hurricane that this dude summoned and create that hole in the
The
sky.
big
Just the
hole of light,
visuals of
Yeah.
this whole scene. Gorgeous.
I was spent by the end of that. I was like, holy shit, okay, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter if none of this sticks. It is the coolest fucking thing. Holy
Be
shit.
Pissed if a My Hero game comes out and like we never get all for one playable Bakugo.
If they follow a Ninja Storm model at all, we'd have to get that
get
at some
that as a
point.
DLC
Just
character or
just
something.
like an unlocked character. It's like, hey, there's a special all-for-one Bakugo.
Oh, that's so cool.
He'd be so absurdly overpowered.
Yeah. But then unfortunately that does sort of come to the ending.
Yeah,
and the ending proper is kind of.
I mean, like, they literally hand wave it away,
Yeah.
where All Might has shown up and Hawks is there, who's been introduced, I guess.
Oh yeah, Hawks is
By the way,
there.
we know who Hawks is.
We know
Yeah.
who Hawks is now. He's hunting the League of Villains or something, and he has bird wings.
And he's like, got a secret mission.
And the reason that they were able to show up is because, like, the entire technology, like, all the like communications and shit were knocked out. But yeah, Yozaru made a drone to go send a message to the mainland, and it worked eventually. But all the heroes got there at the very end, which I guess was just Hawks, and he like carried All Might the whole way, I'm guessing.
Oh my god.
That's all I can see is just like.
I mean,
Well, no,
actually, to be
we
fair,
see a jet go
jets.
by,
You see
and
jets.
we see a parachute on the ground.
I like my image better, but yeah, Hawks and All Might are there, and All Might's just sitting over. Midoriya's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're okay." I ended up giving one for all to Bakugo. You did what? It's okay. You did a great job. This is
I'm still
exactly what I
happy.
would have done.
It's okay, my son.
And then he falls asleep, and he gets full cowl. It's like, I see. So One for All decided to stay with you no matter. Anyway, it
Yep.
did something spectacular. I guess that's a thing it can do now.
Thank you for protecting my student again, Master. And I guess keeping this in him instead.
And somehow throughout all of that, Bakugo got amnesia. So he'll
Which,
never
okay.
remember this.
Honestly, that is incredibly lame.
Yeah,
I
that's-
know.
Like,
That's
I-
maybe
I-
the
he
part of this that
didn't
bothers
need
me the
amnesia.
most.
I could have accepted everything else, but the amnesia,
Like,
that's just bad
he
storytelling.
didn't need it.
He didn't need it.
I mean-
Midoriya doesn't have it.
Yeah, why didn't Midoriya get amnesia?
Yeah,
'Cause-
if they had both woken up with amnesia, I would have actually been better with that. But the fact that Bakugo's the only one who gets it makes it way worse for me.
It's so that in the anime, Midoriya will be able to reference back to it, but never have to address it with Bakugo.
yeah.
It's like that time I gave One for All to Bakugo for a second. You what? Nothing.
So does that canonically mean, since the writer had his fingers in it, that that's just something One for All can do?
Could do, but never will.
In this one instance, something amazing happened, and I guess whatever.
It was a once in a lifetime thing.
Maybe Midoriya didn't really mean it. Maybe you have to have like that full will of, yeah, I'm really passing this to you.
Didn't get
Not-
enough of his DNA in
Give
his system.
backsies. Give backsies.
It's unfortunate because we actually, a lot of us had the same idea when we left. It was like,
Yeah.
man, wouldn't it have been so much better if Bakugo, after
Just,
everything was done, came
gave
back
it back.
over, took out some of his hair and said, take it back.
Yeah.
No,
'cause
take it back!
It's a very Bakugo thing to do. That would be a very Bakugo thing to do, where it's like, I don't need your shit, okay? I'm not going to be the best
I'm gonna
by
kick
not...
All Might's power with mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat All Might with I'm gonna be the best hero with my quirk. I don't need this one as well. You take it back, but you brought up the point that the way All for One or One for All works is it
Means that
gives
Deku
you
now gets
all of the
Bakugo's
quirks
power.
that were in it. Which does that mean that literally everybody who's ever had that has only had super strength and speed?
No, I think that's just all we've seen. That's my
Maybe
bet anyway.
I don't know. Because we also
Your face. Never mind.
we also got a visual to a bunch of the other previous users too.
Yeah, we
which
definitely
is something
saw
that we
that.
hadn't gotten in the anime.
Yeah, especially like the one we
Like it
we'd
goes,
seen-
it goes like 3 or 4 generations back with
Yeah,
the images they give us.
We've seen All Might's mentor, but I don't think we'd seen anyone before.
yeah,
her.
we'd never seen like the dude that looks like an old bald boxer.
Actually, I think, if I'm correct, we
least not in the
we hadn't seen him in the anime. I think we'd seen the skinny dude, the one that kind of like looked down. Like I think we'd seen him once in the manga and anime
maybe
before.
Yeah.
Because the only other one we knew about before
the
that
one
was
was-
whoever All for One's brother was. Like that's the only other one we've known of.
Yeah, and we see him. Yeah, you see him there. That's him. And we also see Toshinori's master.
Yeah.
The boxer dude.
No, the girl.
The
Oh,
lady.
the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Don't say All Might, you asshole.
I really should.
Don't dead name him.
His name is Toshinori. It's still Toshinori. It's just not his hero name.
Isn't it Toshironi?
No, Toshinori.
Huh.
But yeah,
San Francisco tree.
Toshironi. But yeah, it's a kind of it's a lame ending.
It is.
Although we do get to see fucking Shigaraki come out and literally
Yeah,
dust.
Yeah,
dust
which-
the
which
dude,
that was
like-
good.
Yeah, I like that as a framing device where he just walks up like, you did well, good experiment, bye.
There can only be one.
There can only be one. Goodbye.
Just walks
And
off.
none of
peeking
us
through-
will
peeking through the
mention
tulip.
this ever again.
It was weird, like because the League of Villains and Hawks were kind of a framing device throughout this movie to like figure out how everybody else is reacting around the world to what's going on and deliver us information as to why the villains are doing what they're doing. There's a scene where Hawks is just like investigating somewhere, and fucking Shigaraki's just standing like 15 feet behind him on a rock, just like,
Yeah.
he's just Hawks is just down there. I wonder where the League of Villains is. Yeah,
So close yet so far.
literally only there for exposition. But yeah, this was solid. I enjoyed what we saw. If it weren't for the people sitting next to me,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
that's not your fault.
It's
Next time, buy the extra 4 chairs.
We kind of glossed over it, but I really liked the beginning, seeing everyone
Yeah.
like kind of just hanging out and doing stuff. I do feel like as a bit of a Jiro fan, I feel like they underused her in this because there were a lot.
She's got an entire arc going on right now.
I understand that she's gonna get some shine in the anime.
Is
Clearly,
she also the one singing the "Don't Worry About a Thing" song?
I think that might
Because
be.
that sounds so
Yeah.
similar compared to the latest episode. I'm like, so is she just sitting there?
yeah, she's singing this, watching it as it happens. But like, I don't know why, but it just felt weird to me that I feel like every time they sent her in, it was like, and you can be there for like recon and bring someone back. Don't fight. Like, don't use that crazy sound power. Like I feel
She does a couple of things with the sound waves.
she
in this.
gets
Does
to
she
do
fight
like a little bit of
Crocodile
a
or
fight at the
something?
very end.
And she like I thought she did something near like the beginning with like Crocodile or one of like Mummy Dude. Or something.
she uses her powers to try and attack. I think it was the dude.
It was forgettable enough that you're right. It didn't really amount to much.
I can't remember what it was, but there was just a section of like Ida giving people jobs, and then it's just like, all right, big tough men, you go and do the fight. Girls, you'll be there to get people out. It's just like, oh come on, man. These like you are looking at Gravity Girl, Sound Girl, and Girl who can
To be
make
fair,
things.
Gravity Girl is really good at extraction.
Gravity Girl is extraction. I get that. That's fine.
And
But sound seems like no, you could use that for offense, and we could probably get someone who moves real fast.
she
to
seems
pull people
perfect.
out.
Like she seems perfect for recon. Like because in the beginning of the movie they use her to help track down a lost boy, which
Yeah.
I guess Midoriya does without her near the end. But
yeah, one of the things about her power is that she can use it for offense, but it's actually great to find people buried under rubble.
Oh yeah, it's great for finding things.
Yeah, it's unfortunately. Almost every female character in the series has an ability that's actually better suited towards rescue and support.
which isn't a bad thing. A lot of like, I mean,
No, yeah, like rescuing and stuff is very important. It just always feels weird where they're like, "All right, big strapping men, you go do the fight."
But you will notice that as supporters, they can take a cool ability and make it fucking awesome.
yeah, with her like meteor shower shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like when you combine their abilities with other people with kick-ass abilities. I mean, Mina is obviously Ashido is obviously like an offensive type.
I cannot wait for Ashido's power to get better as it goes on, because she, with that acid ability, can be fucking awesome.
No, yeah, she melts through one girl's hair.
You know who continues to be completely useless though? Invisible Girl.
I was just getting ready to
What
say.
the fuck does she do and how does she sleep?
Yeah, I was getting ready to.
She sees through her eyelids at night.
Oh, she has a mask.
Does she have a mask?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
'Cause that would be a nightmare.
Because we definitely went through and said everyone got a moment in this movie. I don't think she does.
Yeah, no, she wears her gloves and exists. She's always naked. Is
I-
that awkward? Is that awkward to anybody else?
That's awkward for me, because every time I think about it, I can't help but think, I don't care if people can see me or not.
There was that part during the one of the exams where one of the professors accidentally touched her boob and she's just like, "You pervert!" He's like, "Fuck!
You're
Oh
invisible.
God, I'm
You
going to
can't-
jail.
you
I'm
can't
going
hold this
jail.
to me.
I'm going to jail."
You're invisible. This is entrapment.
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, she's in this movie, and it is one of those things about like, look, I know she's kind of a gag character, but man, it's.
She got that one she used it in the anime at some point where she had like basically a solar flare that she could do with her ability.
Yeah, I
like,
forgot about
you
that.
could have had a reason to use that somewhere in this.
forgot about that.
Yeah, because she reflects light.
Like that's how.
Can she turn it off? I don't think she can.
I don't. I believe that if she could, she would have by now.
If she can't, well, if her power is literally reflecting light, maybe she does have eyelids that she can't see through.
Maybe.
Because on the inside,
it's
maybe
just
she's
internal.
opaque.
I'd never actually even thought about.
I feel like I heard someone say she's also not naked. She can use her hair to make see-through clothes.
Oh,
That's
right.
that makes a lot of sense actually, because Medio does the same shit.
Actually, that makes me feel way more comfortable. Because again, it's not really a matter of like I'm not prudish. I couldn't imagine going around naked.
But yeah,
I get secondhand like uncomfortable when I'm like, oh my god, no.
That said, I do think specifically the moment you're referencing, she is naked because they were wearing their school uniforms for the test, and she's like, I have to take this off in order to sneak.
Yeah, in order for my power to be of any use, I can't be wearing this. I actually kind of want to see that new Invisible Man movie, thinking about that.
Oh yeah, that is coming out, huh?
Apparently it's good.
Huh.
Yeah, it's coming out this weekend.
Okay.
Speaking of things that are out this weekend, in theaters now, My Hero Academia, Heroes Rising. I think that's about everything we really have to say about it without turning it into a general My Hero discussion.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else? Final thoughts?
My favorite fucking action shot in that entire movie is when Bakugo melts that fucking rock.
Oh yeah, when he's running through it.
My
was
god.
Really, really, really good. I like that a lot too.
There aren't a whole lot of times in most modern anime that really, like, I think the last time I got a physical response to an action scene was actually from My Hero, Mob Psycho. Season 2.
Still haven't seen season 2.
During the fight with the telepath.
So good.
Yeah,
I liked season 1 a lot.
Season
and
2
I felt like season 1 ended at such a good spot that I was like, this is a great self-contained
It does,
thing.
but season 2 blows it out of the water. I will tell you that right now.
The fight with the teleporting dude is one of the coolest fights in all of anime. And I remember watching that scene. I literally said, are you fucking kidding me? Just by how cool it got.
The way it was choreographed. God damn it. Okay, also go watch Mob Psycho season 2 if you haven't.
I guess my review forthcoming.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that shot where he just pushes through and that fucking rock
that
starts
part's
flying, I'm like,
Anime's been getting real good.
yeah.
They know how to make things pretty and still visually understandable.
And one of the coolest parts about it is that we are in an age where it is no longer Japanese animators alone. You are finding they have a bunch of animators from the Philippines, China, America,
Korea. A
A
lot of Korea. I mean, isn't Avatar Korea?
Both
Korra and Last Airbender.
yeah, different studios. Although the second season, the first half is done by a Japanese studio, Studio Pierrot, who worked on Naruto. But yeah, they have so many people to pull from nowadays. You're getting amazing animators from all over the globe.
I know Boruto sometimes even outsources some of their animation to America.
Yeah.
Like some individual animators too.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Because we're now in a globalized animation age, and that is to its benefit. Absolutely 100% to its benefit.
We are moving towards the Federation ideal. So,
but yeah,
little by little.
But yeah, so hey, if you like My Hero Academia and you want to see a fun, well-animated movie with an amazing climax and a so-so ending, definitely see My Hero Academia: Heroes Rising. If we haven't spoiled it too much for you already, you will absolutely. You'll find I think everybody's going to find something to like in this film.
We haven't even touched on the kids who have the heartfelt story about their dad.
I liked the kids.
They were good MacGuffins.
Yeah.
They were good MacGuffins. So when you go, enjoy the movie. Have a great one. This has been the Talkcast Podshow, and when you do go, shut the fuck up. Don't talk. Don't you be one. Don't be that person.
Be considerate of other people's movie experience, please.